I have completely effed up short sales in general by trying to teach everybody what the banks are really doing. Again, I was so far out there and everybody else was so far out there that I had created a middle. Now what's happened? I stopped speaking for 6 months and everybody, we have to tell the bank everything, and if we don't, we're going to jail. And they want to foreclose again. No, they don't want to foreclose, not even remotely. I don't even think they've reactivated their foreclosures for the most part. I wouldn't believe this whole scenario at all. If I had a day, I probably think I could stop it. An hour? An hour. You gave me an hour. That's a tough one even by my standards. Which, by the way, it's now got a new owner as of 30 minutes ago. You gave me an hour. I admit I'm the miracle worker and I have thrown some amazing Hail Mary passes in my lifetime. The best Hail Mary pass stopping a foreclosure based on numbers. Okay, this is how good you can get at it. My friend Ada Rayner calls me. It is the Wednesday before the Thursday before the holiday. What was the last one was on a Thursday? She called me on a Wednesday while I was playing golf at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. The sale was on Monday. Let me explain bank holidays. Nobody's working Thursday or Friday on stopping that decision. And at 2 o'clock I get the, Lee, I just got a file. 2 hours the day before a 4-day weekend, you want to stop a file that's going to go to sale at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Really? All right, here's how you do it. And I gave her a whole list. Here's the numbers, blah, blah, blah. Run this through, make this happen, make this form happen, send it off. 4:55, I get a text. They postpone the sale date. Okay, great. I mean, I've heard stories of stopping sales 5 minutes before sales. You run up there, hand them phones, you know. Based on this, you're going to make more if you do it my way. I call the bluff. I have all your money, okay? The problem is most agents don't have calculators. They don't have access to mitigation companies. And no knock on attorneys. They do it by sheer willpower and might. They are the original hardcore bluffers. Talk about the poker player of the poker players. Attorneys who do short sale negotiations have a sledgehammer-like mentality of, well, if they don't take the deal, then we're filing bankruptcy and who cares? And that's what their threat is. And it works a lot. I just believe in 100% close ratios, and they haven't lost any of your files yet, have they? All right, cool. They're a good attorney. And I got to say this for the record. This is a new Lee. It's a new year coming up. There are attorneys I have found and that I like. Wow, that's a big twist for a former asset manager. Because I hate attorneys. Oh my God, I hate it. All right, so what do they say? What do they do? So if the bank really wants to do the short sale, why don't they close? That's the truth. Okay, everybody agree that short sales physically haven't changed. It's still based on math. Everybody agree on that? You guys agree on that in there? You just follow me. It's the truth, right? It's based on math. Minimum acceptable net proceeds, right? So what's changed? It's the perception of the market. So you have to understand why that works. We're at my finale. We're at my explanation. And this is why short sales have changed, okay? This is why short sales do have failed, all right? So let's look at it objectively. You need to understand what collects money. There are 3 things that collect money fundamentally, okay? They are fear, they are greed, and that is power. This is also how you're good at Texas Hold'em. Fundamental. Why? These are also the motivators of a person's ego. Okay? So what is fear? Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous and likely to cause pain or threat. Is that the best definition of Wells, Chase, and B of A ever on the face of the planet? It's now also the definition for NAR and your local DRE and boards. And the attorneys, your title companies, escrow companies, your brokers. Is there anybody else not trying to threaten you about doing short sales that I can't throw on that list? Greed. Everybody gets this word wrong, okay? It's an intense desire for something, especially money, prestige, or property. That is what it is to be greedy. That is the real definition of greed. Everybody thinks it's about money. It's not about money. It's an intense desire for something. Everybody wants this deal to close. He who cares less, much like Texas Hold'em, wins. Great analogies with Texas Hold'em today. Last but not least, power. The capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. Voila. I give you the short sale market. These are also the motivators of the human ego. You have 5 egos involved in this transaction. The buyer, the seller, the buyer, the seller, the buyer's agent, the selling agent, and the bank. 5 egos. All motivated by those 3 things. So tell me how to line all 5 of those egos up so that they follow one person who knows what they're doing to close a short sale. You want to know why short sales don't close? Nobody has a consistent, congruent message. You got one guy like me out on the other end of the spectrum. You got everybody else saying, be afraid. Wow, that's fair for me trying to teach everybody. Why am I giving everything I do away for free right now? I will do anything. I will go one-on-one. I will do a room. I don't care who it is. I don't care where it is. I'm going to teach it one at a time if I have to. Enough. This is just utter, complete horse crap. This is about manipulation. It's about fear. It's about money. And it's about a homeowner who, under some psychotic belief, I'm saying this to every homeowner who watches the video, you're not going to keep the house. You're just not. I don't care what the bank tells you. You're just not going to get the house. You owe them money. You signed a contract. I'm the most pro-bank guy on the planet. I want the banks to get all the money they deserve. And I'm going to tell you exactly how much it is, based on your fiduciary responsibility. 0.01% better short sale versus foreclosure. The other 19 to 22% of that equity, find a home for it. Personally, a charity would be just fine, okay? If you don't want it, give it away to somebody, because Wells, Chase, and B of A don't deserve it anymore. And that's why I want to be your new czar of short sales. Thank you. I'll be here all week trying to feel. All right, so what does this really mean, and how bad is this? What's motivated you at this point, all right? My broker told me I shouldn't work on short sales. There's too much liability. That doesn't happen at all, does it? That hasn't happened to everybody in this room once, or heard it from another office. Let me tell you how bad it is. Family members have told me this statement. I have deemed myself, arrogantly, the trainer of trainers. Why? Because I've trained all the trainers. I actually have. I got roll sheets. I know it for a fact. I've trained them. The biggest players in this town, guess what? They all came and saw me. They all know why numbers work. I've had close family friends tell me they don't want to work on short sales. Too much liability, there's too much this. I've sat and given 5-hour lecture. One-on-one time. People have had one-on-one time. I can pretty much convince anybody with enough one-on-one time of anything. Okay? The DRE said I need to create a fiduciary responsible relationship with the bank. Your DRE is. Your NAR is. NAR is. NAR attorneys are. DRE attorneys are. My title company told me about the liability in the case law about short sales. You don't believe me that this is just perception? This is all it is. This is all perception. Our perception is officially skewed. And I'm going to say it again. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I really believe it. I didn't want to, and I'm trying not to get into a weird emotional thing about this, but it's my damn fault. So I'll fix it, okay? Enough. You gotta stop believing this crap. Unless somebody can produce the case law and show me somebody who was just trying to help a homeowner ethically and correctly, okay? Enough. It's gotta end. So, whose responsibility is this whole car crash, all right? I'm going to tell you what an agent's responsibility is in this transaction. Live it, learn it, know it, love it, unless you get a mitigation company. Submit the file and dealing with all the players in the transaction. And they must follow you. You cannot push them, you cannot drag them. They must follow you. You must inspire them to change. My mistake for 3.5 years was pushing people. I didn't inspire them. Follow-up, tracking, updating, approval, closing, and beyond the close. Yes, they're probably going to look for deficiency. Would you like to hear the latest one that I figured out that puts me again ahead of the curve? Brand new data. She just saw me like a month ago. Did the 2-day event. A lot of this is the same. I put in new stuff. What if I was an investor or a collection company? And I was approached by a bank who offered me $100 million in deficiencies. And they only wanted to sell it for $10 million. Would I take that deal? Probably. Why does a bank want so much paperwork? Because they only really decide a short sale on about 4 pieces of information. What are the other 34 to to 105 pages of information for?
Sale.
Anybody else get a little following my logic on this? If I create a file and I sell a deficiency, did I just not increase my net back end exponentially? And if I do it as a bundle off the books after an escrow, it gets around the securitized portfolio issue because the escrow washes that out. So now I can take a bulk on the back end of deficiencies. And I've already had it confirmed by a couple of people that it exists. That's bad. Which means they're going to push harder and harder to build bigger and bigger files. Because the bigger the file, for somebody buying a bulk asset, the better it is, right? Due diligence. All right, are they all going to be files with full tax returns? Are they all going to be files with full 401? Are they going to, right? Follow me. Now, am I just saying this because I want to scare you? No. I could care. If what I just didn't scare the crap out of everybody, then I'm in a ditch that I dug, okay? I admit it. This is going to be the future. And they are really going to try to collect on deficiencies, and they are really going to try to go at it. So you got to be sharper and quicker from the beginning and give them less. To not be intimidated by the bank and to make the deal. That is your job. And that is the hardest one. I play a lot of Hold'em. My favorite game is a 1-1 no limit where everybody plays because they have fun. The only way to intimidate at a 1-1 table is to hope that nobody calls your $40 bet. Okay, that's pretty much it on a 1-1 buy-in. There's no intimidation factor. We all go, we all have fun. But if I'm playing over at the Mirage and somebody's got $1,000 and I'm only buying in for a couple $100, that's intimidating when he goes all in. That's very, very intimidating. Very intimidating. You're dealing with Wells, Chase, and B of A. They've influenced the educational process. They've influenced the media. They stopped doing foreclosures when the federal government told them they had to foreclose. They're cool, all right? I know you guys don't like them, and everybody came in being bank-hating people. I'm a bank-loving guy. I still am. I go back to work for them tomorrow. I like the way they roll. They have never tried to not be the sharks they are. They've not even dressed themselves up to go, we're different. They didn't try that WAMU crap, all right? WAMU, we're the different guys in the green shirt, the blue shirts, right? We're different. We wear jeans to work. No, you just bought a better marketing company. I mean, it's a great angle. I personally think it's funny that B of A has Kiefer Sutherland of 24 as their spokesman, because that's exactly what it should be. A very intense guy talking about a very intense bank. You should just get out and do the real deal. Hi, we're sharks. You borrow our money, we're going to want it back. That's it. That's it. Don't overcomplicate this. And they've won. Don't ever confuse yourself. This isn't like me going, I'm going to go change the world. I know that I've based my blogs on the concept of me going and raging against all the banks. That has been my whole premise. I'm not going to win, okay? They've already won. This is like me saying I can take Short Sale Genius and make them the biggest designation out there. No, there are other organizations that have won. They had better marketing dollars. They had better market share. I can't have the best mitigation company. I can't, okay? What I can say is this. Nice guys can finish last because they'll finish best, okay? You got to understand that because the banks have won. They've really just literally won. That's all there is to it. So what can we do? We can make them bend a little bit. We can get our deals closed and play within the rules that they have given to us and not believe the horse crap that they keep flinging about. Because you got to understand the bank's responsibility in this whole program. This was very difficult. I came up with this question last night as I was walking around Fremont, which is my new favorite place to be on the whole planet. People ask me all the time, Lee, you're ADD, Lee, you're psycho, whatever. No, go to Fremont Street. That's what my brain looks like. Fremont on a Saturday or Sunday night, about 9 p.m., throw in a few short sale files out on the center of the sidewalk. That's what my brain looks like on any given day. And it's easily to get distracted. I can walk around and I can actually be focused in that place. There's so much crap going on visually and mentally that my brain, it's the best place in the world for me. I have found a new home. I might put a cot out on Fremont. There are people already living out there. I'm just joining them.
Yeah.
So what is this is the one I came up with yesterday. What's the bank's responsibility in the transaction? Anybody know?
Get money.
The what?
Collect their money.
Get money.
No.